So here we are again, up in Lincoln, but this time with a slight change. That. My God, is this exhaust loud? Oh, it pops every gear change, I love it! So yes, for those of you that don't know, I bought myself a Black Widow exhaust for my KTM RC390. They don't make one for the RC390, they make one for the Duke 200. So it took some modifications. Specifically, the mid pipe was too narrow. Well, the end that goes over the down pipe was too narrow. So I chopped up the stock exhaust, chopped the end off that, and got a welder to, well, weld it, weirdly enough, onto this mid pipe. But that wasn't the only problem I had with this exhaust, I have to admit. I thought those were people. Now, this system cost me about 180 quid, which for a full exhaust system is cheap as chips. Now, I'd heard good things about Black Widow, especially quality-wise. That camera's on the piss. That's better. But yeah, I do understand why they're quite cheap. The quality of the exhaust is good, don't get me wrong. But there's a few little issues I do have with it. And it's got nothing to do with it being for a different bike. Because if you don't know, the KTM Duke and the RC run the same frame and same engine, but the Duke is tuned down a little. I have to say, I don't know if you're actually going to be able to hear me that well because of how loud this exhaust is. Yeah, the Duke and the RC run the same frame, same everything, with just small little changes. But anything that will fit on the RC will fit on the Duke, and vice versa. Being very careful of my speed because of the new speeding laws. They piss me off. I'm glad other people get caught, but I might get caught, and I don't like that idea. So right, let's run through the good things about this exhaust before we start getting into the annoying things. Good things. It looks fucking amazing. The quality of the welds and the metal is incredible. It is loud as hell. This is with the baffle in, by the way. I daren't run it without the baffle at the moment because it is ridiculous. But like with the baffle out, I did run it for a day and it was spitting flames like no one's business. It was good, it felt good. But when you ride with it at about 10 o'clock at night through little villages, you feel a little guilty, I will admit, very guilty. But in regards to the actual exhaust system itself, I have no complaints. My issues come about with the exhaust clips that hold it together and the sealant that you get provided, which is used to lubricate the pipes when you're putting them together and keep them airtight. We'll start off with the clips, shall we? Here's a picture of what they should look like. Now, the Black Widow clips are the same, they look the same, but this is where they start to get cheap. I broke 2 of them. How did I break 2 of them? I tightened them up and they both snapped. One of them, the bolt actually snapped, which was just weird because it was only like done up half tight as well. It wasn't anywhere near as tight as it'll go. And the other one, I did try and get tight as fuck, proper taff, and that snapped. But I don't understand how one of the bolts can just snap in half when it's not even done up tightly. So they're obviously fairly cheap. I need to say, I'm not slagging them off, and I'm not trying to convince people to buy it or not to buy it. I'm just giving my honest opinion. So yeah, the clips, they're not that good. If you do get a Black Widow exhaust system, I would suggest getting some clips like the ones I'm now using, these ones. And the sealant that you get provided, it didn't fucking work. it took way too much effort to get out the little tube. Just one of them squeezy tube things, like toothpaste. And you'd think it would come out as easily as toothpaste, like it's meant to. But now I had to put the tube on the floor and stand on it, and about that much came out. It was bad, and it doesn't work. This system isn't airtight at the moment. It is blowing quite significantly, which is why it's popping so much and so loud. I mean, at the end of the mid pipe before the link pipe, that's where it's blowing the most at the moment, and that bit's pretty much straight through as well. Because one thing you should know is it doesn't have a cap. It's literally just a mid pipe, a link pipe and a can with a baffle. The only thing to keep the noise down on this is the baffle, but it does sound mean. It's not like no one can say, oh, I didn't hear you coming. But yeah, I put quite a bit of the sealant around the pipes, and it's still blowing, and it hasn't properly sealed them. They still move about a little, which I'm not happy with. That bike was tiny. But yeah, you start hearing it blowing at about 5,000–6,000 RPM. So yeah, Black Widow exhausts. I think looking at the Duke 200 list, because that's the closest one I could find to this bike, the most expensive full system was £220, which is about $350, I'm not sure. But for a full system, that is cheap. But like I said, I'd heard good things about them, and to be honest, I like them. I really like this exhaust. It looks mean, it sounds mean, it suits the bike quite nicely. Without the baffle in there is a big asshole, and I'm not just talking about the person riding it. Oh yeah, just fucking barge in. You're not meant to do that, you knob. You're now impeding other traffic. So yeah, you could say Black Widow is a bit of a budget brand for exhausts, because they're actually a fairly small company, but they are good. It's just the sealant and the clips I've had a problem with. But I know Spicy 110 bought a Black Widow exhaust for his XJ6 Diversion, Yamaha, and he hasn't had a problem with it. And I've got no idea how much that one costs. But I can just talk about my personal experience with them. But I do love the sound of this thing now. With the Aquapovic I had on it, which I bought from KTM, it didn't have a removable baffle, it was welded in. And I always thought it could have a bit more beef. It didn't quite sound as good as it could. But the Black Widow exhaust with the baffle in, like I said, I took it out, I put it straight back in, did one ride, and it was too loud. Now, I'm not the kind of person that complains about exhaust being too loud. In my opinion, the louder the better. But there is a limit. With the baffle in, it's loud enough. You can hear the exhaust over the wind at about 70 miles an hour. It's definitely not lacking in loudness. Volume, that's the word. Definitely not lacking in volume. Oh, it sounds nice down here. Why am I going this way? There's fucking traffic everywhere. But I'm on a bike, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I do love a Grom. Don't start moving forward, mate. Thank you. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, this is the sort of noise you want when you're trying to filter. Yeah, this sort of noise level is exactly what I wanted. Be a bit better if it wasn't blowing, but I can sort that out. Like I said, I've bought some new clips for it, which are better quality. I've got some new sealant for it. It'll all work out eventually. So yeah, all in all, Black Widow exhausts. The quality of the exhaust is good. It sounds fucking amazing. I'm trying not to swear too much in this because I've been told I swear too much. But sometimes you just need to swear. Oh, it sounds amazing. It sounds fucking amazing. There's two different levels of amazing there, and this is definitely fucking amazing. But yeah, they are a slightly budget brand, a lot cheaper than most places, and you can tell in some aspects of their systems, but nothing major. It is just a simple, oh, I can replace that and it'll be perfect. Well, there is one problem I do have, which I'm not going to be able to fix. I work nights. I get home at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning with this amount of noise. I'm going to get a few complaints, aren't I? Oh well, they'll learn to love it. And if they don't, fuck them. Oh, something I forgot to mention. I mentioned the Caberg exhaust I had. From KTM, the full system was just under £1,000. This one was just under £200. You can just about tell the differences in quality because of the price, but it's still good. If you have a Duke 200 or a Duke 125, at the moment those are the only KTMs Black Widow actually do exhaust for that won't need modifications. I would suggest having a look at them and seeing what you like, because I do like this exhaust. But my neighbours will not at first, but like I said, they will learn to love it. Even on idle it sounds nice. So yeah, stay tuned for a video dedicated to the sound of this exhaust, a couple of flybys and full revs and idle and all that good shit. I don't know if I'll do one without the baffle, but I'm definitely doing one with the baffle in. So stay tuned for that video. Cheers for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all next time.
Back from the dead.